Good morning, welcome to Morning Review. This is Kim Watson speaking on Wednesday, the 16th of December, or as it should be known as Fed Day, probably. Okay, let's have a look at the Eurodollar first. And yesterday, saw the highs taken out fractionally, ran into that 100 MA and rolled over for the day pretty much. It had a bit of a recovery later on in the session, and currently we're running back towards the 4 hourly 21 sort of area. A test of that along with the daily pivot could see it roll back over again and continue. Taking out all these prior lows here yesterday on the news. Of course, we've got the Fed announcement later on today, and God knows, this market could go either way. Of course, the 0.25% is probably already priced in. It's the rhetoric and the comments or whatever that come with the announcement and the future projections, which will be quite key to what happens later. But that's, of course, at 7 o'clock this evening. Before then, we've got a day's trading to be done. There may be some opportunities. We saw yesterday, obviously, with the news that came out later on in the day, as well as the reaction that started to happen in the morning, a downward pressure. We could see this happening again as we run through today at some point. Hence why I'd like to really get, if we can get back up to that daily pivot, I'd very much like to get short. If we get a set up around the area, maybe just run through it a little bit. There's a 3450 above us, so I'd like to be on the short side at that point, at least for the part of this morning. We'll see how we go from there. Okay, that's the euro. Pound. Looking from a daily perspective, again, it's sold off. It's really struggling to get back up at the moment. The pound, it's nowhere near as much of a retrace so far as the euro. Consolidated around this phase, a break of this level for me should see it selling off. I'll take the sell point down towards the S1 area. There might be a move this morning which we can trade towards that daily pivot. I'll watch that if it happens. So there's a potential move towards that daily pivot. Preference, again, would be to the downside. We have got news out though today. We've got the average earnings and employment figures all coming out at 9:30, which could create some volatility for the pound. I should have said in the euro, whilst I'm talking about news, we've got the flash manufacturing and services figures coming out for France and Germany this morning, and then later on at 9 o'clock we've got the European figure. But it's normally at 8 o'clock, 8:30 that we see the most volatility from that data. Okay, looking at the dollar yen, seen yesterday, but it's in a pivot swing. It's pushing on through that at the moment. There's a chance easily we could run up towards the 4 hourly 50 and maybe beyond. We have got the daily pivot well below us, which would normally be our target. If it does break the lows and starts moving towards there, well, then we've got the 21 moving averages as potential support around where we saw a lot of consolidation yesterday, possibly a bit messy. So a break of the highs here, well, could see us running up to the S1 and the 200 MA. Today may be one of those days where the markets just chop and make it difficult for initial setups, but we'll see. There's always a possibility that it could get a bit of a runner as traders panic a little or a lot. Okay, Aussie dollar, big bearish engulfing bar that it completely engulfed the previous day's bar. It's sort of almost a key reversal. Actually didn't quite make the lows there, so not quite taking out the lows there. So well, but it does look quite bearish. Again, we've already hit the daily pivot here. Maybe an easier one, a cleaner one for the sell side. Bearing in mind there's no news due out from Australia throughout the day, but if you do see the breaks to the downside, well, that may be an opportunity looking at the previous lows there, and maybe even the S1. Canadian dollar benefited yesterday in the end by the price of oil moving. However, you won't believe it when you look at the dailies. It's put a bit of a Shanghai duo there. There's a little spinning top doji sort of sitting next to each other. It could roll from this sort of point. However, it looks really it's just a consolidation phase which may break and continue to the upside. not the cleanest to get there. The daily pivot hasn't been hit, break of the lows. We could see that lots of support around that area there. The easier fruit at the moment to me looks towards the upside, the previous yesterday's highs and maybe Monday's highs in the R1. So it's a potential. So overall today, as I say, with this news, often you get markets consolidate unsure, but just like yesterday, sort of almost get panicking going on in terms of traders trying to position themselves, maybe getting short on the likes of the euro and the pound, etc. And then eventually news comes out and it's nothing different to what's already been priced in, and we could see a bounce. There's lots of things could happen there, but I'll look at that on a bigger video later today. Okay, that's it for me. I hope you have a great day. Bye for now.